Hey YouTube, it's Mark.
And Rocky.
And we are
This Cruise Life.
We're coming to you with a special edition of Sail Talk Saturday. It's actually a pre-recorded edition as we will be traveling on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. during our normal time.
Absolutely. But we are doing this as a live premiere event, so feel free to drop a comment while you're watching this. We'll be tagging along to the best of our abilities. We don't know what our service is going to be.
I will be taking along. This guy's going to be driving, so as long as service allows, we're going to be responding to your comments live. But we're going to share some cruise news with you as we do every Saturday, and we're going to share some a fun, exciting, our first ever This Cruise Life contest with you. So stick around and find out how you can enter that contest and get score yourself some TCL merchandise.
That's pretty exciting stuff right there.
I think so. Okay, Rocky.
Awesome. Jumping right into the very first article that we're talking about today, and that is a new icon in the making. Royal Caribbean officially announced this past week Star of the Seas.
It's a second Icon class ship followed by namesake Icon of the Seas.
Yep, so Icon is scheduled to launch here in just a couple of short months, I believe. Start of 2024 is when Icon comes out. The Star of the Seas has already been under construction in Meyer Turku shipbuilding yards up there in Finland, actually. So they've already started working on her, and they just now released the name. This new Star of the Seas ship is going to set sail in July of 2025.
I'll be curious what that price point looks like.
Absolutely. We're seeing a lot of very interesting prices among the cruise community right now.
Speaking of Royal Caribbean, Anthem of the Seas just changed up a whole bunch of itineraries due to engine challenges.
Uh-oh. Is she the same class as the Radiance?
I don't understand. So her max speed has been reduced. As a result, Royal Caribbean is actually canceling ports, a port from sailings all the way into 2024 that have already been announced. Yep, and so the silver lining is that they'll be extending time where they can, where they feasibly can. They'll be extending time at Perfect Day at Coco Cay between an hour to 2.5 hours. They'll actually be adding a stop to Perfect Day at Coco Cay for at least one cruise where it wasn't even scheduled to be there.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's stuff that's happening, and they're compensating passengers.
Oh, that's nice.
They're refunding 1 day of the cruise fare as an onboard credit, which is kind of cool.
That is cool.
And so, and what's really cool is if the passenger doesn't use that onboard credit, the difference gets refunded back to their credit card. They don't lose it.
That's nice. That's a cool way to do it.
So there's no news in terms of when Anthem of the Seas goes in for dry dock, but I've got to imagine they're going to want to get this one of the 4 engines fixed so that they can get back to regular speed.
It's interesting. It sounds like this this class of ships was built by given the same Azipod system that the Vista class received with Carnival.
It's funny you should say that because this ship has experienced this in 2017. It experienced it earlier this year, and once again, it is going through the same situation. So yes, it does seem like there is something that's happening with newer ships and their Azipods and propulsion systems.
That's definitely worrisome. Speaking of canceled cruises, Norwegian Cruise Line just made an announcement that the Norwegian Escape is going to have several sailings that are canceled that were already booked in 2025. It's kind of a long distance out. The impact may not be as large, but those sailings, some of them, there's 3 that are 14 days. And a lot of people plan pretty far out for those types of journeys.
I don't understand because this is not the first time Norwegian Cruise Line has done this. Now, all cruise lines make alterations or changes to their itineraries. Totally get that. But it seems to be more common with Norwegian.
That's correct, because just recently we saw the Norwegian Epic at the start of this year got some cancellations announced. And then now the Norwegian Joy is getting pushed out with some new cancellations and potential dry docks that I guess they weren't ready for. I don't know. But definitely some interesting news coming from Norwegian with regards to their ship deployments and what's going on. It sounds like the Escape has some new itineraries that are going to be announced for that period of time between January and March of 2025, where the ship is going to do some different itineraries. We'll have to see what that looks like.
Is this going to be like that Royal Caribbean ship that was canceled and then they said, just kidding, it's not canceled?
Right?
Remember that? Remember that news from a couple of weeks back?
Yep.
Hey, if you are on a Royal Caribbean group ship.
Yeah.
So that's Royal Caribbean or any of the Royal Caribbean brands.
Yeah.
And you're going to the U.S. Virgin Islands, starting January 1st, 2024, you're going to pay more.
Oh, well.
Virgin Islands, St. Thomas, and St. Croix, they are adding a $5 port recovery. It's what's it? Capital cost recovery charge per passenger visiting the port area. And so they're saying that this capital cost recovery charge is specifically designed to help support the development of a third pier in St. Thomas.
Okay.
And pre-construction work on one of the piers in St. Croix to help it get ready to welcome larger ships from Royal Caribbean.
Interesting. Okay, so interesting that they're only taking some of these funds from the Royal Caribbean group ships and not anyone else that docks there.
I think it's specifically from at the Royal Caribbean terminals, Austin Monsanto Marine Terminal in St. Thomas and Anne E. Abramson Marine Facility in St. Croix.
Well, I haven't been to either, so I cannot speak to
You've never
their
been to
cruise
St.
terminals.
Thomas?
Not at all.
I still forget that he's just a baby when it comes to cruising. You platinum cruiser.
Yeah, right.
If this sounds familiar, if these new fees and charges and taxes sound familiar, you are not alone and you're not imagining things. NASA, if you remember the Bahamas, announced that they were levying fees and new taxes to passengers to pay for their port improvements.
But look at the port improvements. I mean, it is beautiful what they've done in Nassau.
It is NASA. But they are levying these additional taxes and fees. Just like the cruise industry, the ports have discovered that they can charge more too.
Yeah, there it is. Well, let's change some gears here. Talk about Carnival, of a nice familiar brand. This week, there was an announcement between Carnival Cruise Lines and Miami Heat, the basketball team. Pretty exciting stuff. Now, for the next year of basketball, the next season of basketball, if you will, you're going to start seeing the Carnival branded name right here appearing on the jersey.
I can't believe we don't have anything Carnival branded
Well,
here.
we do.
I mean,
it's just out of reach.
It's out of reach.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll start to see the Carnival branding on the jerseys for the next year. They took over the partnership that Miami Heat had with UKG, Ultimate Chronos Group, which is a timekeeping and scheduling system. I've used it in previous employers. Yeah, and so it's an interesting partnership. Kind of surprised. I walked into Mark last night as I was prepping for this article and realized that the owner of the CEO actually of Miami Heat is none other than Mickey Arison, former founder or son of
Ted
founder.
Arison.
Son of founder Ted Arison of Carnival Cruise Lines. Yeah, super shocked.
He was like, "How is it taking this long for Carnival to be on their jersey?"
Yeah, it's a strange delay, but happy to see that. It's kind of exciting stuff.
Absolutely. Speaking of Carnival news, the Carnival Freedom is about to get her iconic funnel. We did a little short of that here. Are you just going to put that video here?
Yep, we're just going to play it. Let it roll.
On Friday, October 6, 2023, Carnival Cruise Line shared exciting news that Carnival Freedom would soon be receiving her signature whale tail funnel as she goes in for a 16-day dry dock in Cadiz, Spain. Super excited to see the Carnival Freedom back in action with her winged funnel, and it sounds like some of those new Carnival staples that are rolling out fleet-wide.
Yeah, it's surprising she's in dry dock for only 2 weeks, and they're going to do a lot of work. And rounding out the list of Carnival news, they just released the itineraries for 25 and 26 sailings, 2025 and 2026 that is, for the Carnival Panorama, Carnival Radiance, and Carnival Firenze.
I just realized most of y'all don't know that I'm pointing to Long Beach when I do this.
Which he's actually not pointing to Long Beach. This way. Yeah, Long Beach is actually that way. That would be the western direction. Anyway, so yeah, the Carnival Panorama is going to be doing 6 and 8 night itineraries sailing in 2025 and 2026. Awesome. Kind of some changes. Usually she's been doing 7-night cruises.
And they're adding La Paz.
They're adding La Paz as a new stop, which is a tender port. Yeah, it's a brand new stop for Carnival. So really excited to check out one of those itineraries in the near future. Carnival Radiance is going to continue to do her usual 3, 4, and 5 night cruises, kind of alternating mostly hitting up Ensenada and Cabo. No, not Cabo. Mostly hitting up
Catalina.
Ensenada and Catalina. And then the Firenze has something strange going on. We're trying to understand what's going to happen in 2025, winter going into 2026.
Okay.
She's been released to be doing 5 and 6 night sailings out of Los Angeles or Long Beach.
Her itineraries have been released.
Yep, for the spring through the autumn season of 2025 for the Firenze, and that's it. So as of October 7th, after that sailing concludes, there are no more itineraries released for the Firenze. So we'll keep an eye on that and let you know of any new changes that come out.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Switching gears, my phone has been blowing up all this week. I don't know if you have seen the articles. I know you have, about the couple who retired at sea, these great grandparents. They've been on 51 back-to-back sailings. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a dream to me. Marty and Jess Anson, they have been sailing on Princess.
Okay.
They've been on the Coral Princess now for 500 days. With no plans of vacating the ship. They plan to stay on the ship for a full 2 years.
2 years, okay.
Before they transfer to the Crown Princess, where they plan to stay another year. The couple literally said, it's cheaper to live here than in a retirement home.
It is. I mean, there's been studies that have been done about retiring on a cruise ship. I don't think a lot of people take that seriously and understand.
I wrote an article, we're going to drop it down here in the description, but I wrote an article last year for fun, just to say, what would it cost to retire on a Carnival cruise ship?
Yeah.
I priced out interior rooms. I priced out things like taxes, import fees, and gratuities, and laundry, and all of those sorts of things. But so check that out. But it is possible. What's interesting is Princess only needs 150 nights to hit their elite status, their top level status.
You
in their
just wrote an
loyalty
article
program.
about this.
I just wrote an article that we're going to publish on this coming week, I think, right?
Yeah.
I think Wednesday?
Yeah, it's
okay.
coming out this next week.
Coming out this next week. And so it's interesting. They hit the top tier status a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
So here's my question. Princess Cruises, what you doing for these people? Like,
Right.
is there like a sapphire level? Is there like have they created a level just for the Ansons?
I mean, I would hope that they're getting something. That's quite the dedication to the cruise line.
It is quite the dedication to the cruise line. That's
Yeah.
awesome. We are super excited that they can do that. And
Yes.
that is, I mean, that's a life goal. Imagine waking up every morning to someone making your bed. Well, not waking up to that, but you wake up and someone makes your bed.
Yep.
You have all of the food. You have entertainment. You've got these beautiful ports. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a life.
Hopefully the itineraries are different. Like, throughout the year, I would assume the ship is kind of shifting and going all over the world. So.
For those of you who follow us, this guy is the itinerary guy. I'm just the ship guy. I go with I don't know where I'm necessarily going, but
That's true.
Anyway, I would love to do that. This cruise life sounds amazing.
That sounds amazing to me. Sign me up. Sticking with the Carnival brands, we're
Okay.
going to move into a new brand that not many people are very familiar with, and that is CSSC, China State Shipbuilding Corporation. I had to look at that name several times to remember it. So CSSC is actually a new brand that built ship from the ground up. They're actually in the process. They just did their second round of sea trials on this brand new ship. If you look at this photo that I have on the screen right now, you may recognize this ship. It's a Vista class ship from Carnival Cruise Lines. Now, CSSC, yeah, there's a partnership with this CSSC.
I knew that there's a
Carnival.
partnership with the Chinese government.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize it was a Vista class
It's
ship.
a Vista class ship. You'll see some similarities between the Vista class and this ship. There are also some differences that are notable. But yeah, overall, it's a very familiar looking ship. This is the first attempt at China coming up with their own cruise line for their people to set sail on. Yeah. There's a very large market out there, and it's actually been very delayed on getting the cruise lines back out there from the pandemic. Chinese waters were closed to ships for about 3 years.
Yeah.
So as they're working on reopening and getting new ships in, they decided to throw their own ship into the mix and see how it goes. As a lot of the CEOs of the major cruise lines are realizing, there is a large amount of revenue stream and things that they're missing out on within those markets right now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I saw some of the blog posts about this. It'll be interesting to say which way do cruise companies go?
Yeah.
Do they decide to partner with China?
Right.
Which is interesting, or do they go out on their own and compete against a state-backed cruise line?
Right.
It's going to be interesting to see how that develops.
One of the other things that I kind of got a good chuckle out of when I was reading the article, the ship has 20 million different parts to go into building a ship, a cruise ship. And the interesting part about that is they actually don't have the resources in China to build this ship. They had to outsource parts from other countries, which is kind of backwards from everything that we see here in the United States, where we're always seeing Chinese parts being imported. I just got a good laugh out of it.
Good times. Fantastic.
Yep.
This next story I am super excited about. It is about another residential cruise ship that is coming to fruition, Victoria Cruises. Well, once again, they have delayed the launch of their ship. So we've talked before about Life at Sea cruises.
Yes.
They actually delayed their ship. This was the cruise ship that everyone was texting me saying, you can live on a ship for $30,000 a year. Mark, are you looking into this? And that at the time they announced it included alcohol at dinner, it included laundry, and it included all medical, it included your taxes and port fees, it included Wi-Fi, it included you could have guests and visitors come on board. That was a lot that was included for $30,000, and I said, when something sounds too good to be true, well, shocker, 2 months later, CNN literally was quoted as saying, the dream appeared to morph into a nightmare. Even with that, Life at Sea Cruises is still collecting down payments, and they're still collecting deposits. Well, so Life at Sea Cruises had delays. Well, this Victoria Cruises, this new residential ship, now they are announcing delays. They were supposed to launch December 1st, but due to occupancy levels that are too low, they have decided to postpone. We got a copy of an email that was sent to current owners, and I will tell you, they blame misbookings and false bookings. They're literally blaming buyers for the delays, saying that due to false bookings, people who expressed interest, but then when time came to sign a contract, they said, oh no, actually I'm not interested. That would be like Target. In their quarterly earnings, that would be like Target blaming the customer who takes something off the shelf and puts it back on the shelf, and they say, oh, our sales are down because that person put that item back on the shelf. It's really weird. Yeah. The email goes on to blame things literally like due to buyers' illness and death. Occupancy has just dropped too low for us to sail, and they committed to sharing a new launch date by the end of this week. So maybe by the time this video even launches, we'll have a new launch date. But Victoria Cruises, I'll tell you, based on the tone and the finger pointing in that email,
they're not going to survive.
I'm not going to speculate on their survival. I would not have felt very comfortable. Now, good news, they are offering refunds. So if you are looking for a refund, you can get a refund. If you choose to keep with your sales contract, they'll throw in $1,000 of onboard credit for you. So if you keep your contract, they'll throw in $1,000 when it eventually launches.
But they're still going to point their finger at the person that decided to take a refund out of their sailing.
Oh, good point. Good point.
So you can do it, but we're still going to naysay you.
It's strange. I will tell you, and I am going to look at this because I think this is the best part. Meanwhile, despite the delays, they are still taking $10,000 deposits.
Oh, okay.
That they are just asking you to wire to Budapest, Hungary for safekeeping of your deposit money.
So it's interesting. This is the first time I've heard of Victoria Cruises. They didn't do a great job at advertising it.
That's right. Good point. They also blamed their PR company, their public relations company. The public relations company had a technical issue which delayed the launch of some adverts. And so that's also why the occupancy is too low and why they can't launch.
Lesson of the story, do some research on any cruise line before you're going to send money, especially via wire transfer.
To Budapest, Hungary.
Yeah.
This sounds like a spam email written all over it, doesn't it? Urgent. There's typo. Anyway.
Yeah.
Victoria Cruises.
I think, well, it'll be interesting to see what happens with them.
We are keeping an eye on residential cruise ships. Yes. We know we have a friend who actually purchased into the World. Yeah. And so we're keeping a close eye on residential ships. Maybe one day.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Or maybe we can be that person's guest.
There we go. It's free on Life at Sea. Wow. Or no, it's free on
Victoria.
No, Life at Sea. Yeah,
Life at Sea.
That was
right.
Life at Sea. Okay.
All right. Well, while we're talking about the tumultuous weather that revolves around Victoria Cruises, let's talk about the actual weather.
I like that transition.
right?
That worked.
So some interesting stuff happened. The Carnival Magic unfortunately had to do a rerouting of their itinerary. They just set sail yesterday on the 5th. Oh, yesterday. 2 days ago, if you're watching it on Saturday, on the 5th of October. They were supposed to be sailing over towards Bermuda, and unfortunately, because of Tropical Storm Felipe, they were not able to take that course. They ended up turning south and went down to Freeport. As they're on their way to Freeport, it is a little bit longer of a sailing time, so they're not going to have as much time in port. But overall, Carnival did what they could to make it a little bit more hospitable to those passengers on board. While we're talking about Tropical Storm Felipe, I will mention that the storm has actually completely dissipated. At this point, they're just going to be localized storms if you're traveling through the Atlantic. We know that the Campbells are going to be setting sail coming here at the end of the weekend, going on the Legend to Bermuda. You should be good, hopefully. Please let us know if you get any notices from Carnival, but everything is looking to be okay.
Good. Thanks, meteorologist Rocky.
Absolutely. Now, we're going to switch over to the Pacific Ocean, where there's another tropical storm that I'm keeping an eye on, and that is Tropical Storm Lydia. Lydia has been kind of hanging out off the coast of Mexico, not too far from Cabo San Lucas and Puerto Vallarta, all very familiar ports if you do the Mexican Riviera itineraries. She's just a tropical storm. I'm guessing she's probably going to be similar to Felipe, where it's just going to be a lot of localized storms. She may impact and have some higher sea swells for our itineraries that are going down that way. I know from Carnival's perspective, Panorama is already on her way back up north. By the time Panorama makes her way back down on the next 7-night itinerary, there's going to be a whole different experience from Lydia, and I would imagine it's probably going to be in the better for the cruise.
Awesome. That's great.
Yep. That's it for storms tracking across these, the Caribbean areas.
What are you going to do when we're out of hurricane season? What are you going to talk about?
We'll find something. We'll pull up some video or something of Caribbean blue waters and blue skies for everyone.
We'll talk about that weather. We'll talk about that weather. I love it.
Right.
I love it. Well, hey, if you've made it this far, it is contest time. We want to share with you our first ever This Cruise Life contest. There are some rules, of course, that YouTube makes us share. And so what we're going to ask is, once this video is live, so not right now, not while we're talking with you during the live, during this premiere, but once it actually goes live and is posted on YouTube, all you have to do is like the video and comment which news story resonated with you the most and why it resonated with you. What we're going to do then is we're going to take all of you that are commenting through the next week, and on Friday, October 13th, at 10 p.m. We're going to cut it off, and we are going to select a winner, and we'll announce it live next week on Sail Talk Saturday.
I'm excited for it.
I am super excited as well.
Yeah, so if you comment on the video, make sure that you tune in to our video next Saturday to see if we can announce you live, and then you can be put up on the screen, and it'll be a lot of fun.
That is absolutely a good point. You can also enter by sending an email to shop@thiscruiselife.com, and I think that was all the YouTube rules.
There is no purchase necessary.
No purchase necessary. I knew there was one other thing that I had to hit on. No purchase necessary.
Yep.
Although, if you want to purchase something, we welcome you to thiscruiselife.com/shop. But it's not necessary to win this contest.
Right. Okay. Absolutely.
I don't know why we didn't have this one in the Carnival Corporation brand
we should have.
segment, but Holland America this week had a big announcement. They have now officially installed Starlink high-speed internet on over half of the ships in the fleet, and so phenomenal. I'm not even going to try to read the names of these ships that they have installed it on, but...
Do you want me to help?
but Carnival Corporation did share that the installation is going to not only help guests, but it's going to help crew.
Yes.
Regardless of weather conditions,
yes.
Starlink is going to make a better experience for those who need to be connected. Obviously, crew need to be connected quite often, but even us guests now, we like to be connected to the internet. And so the rest of the fleet should be installed with Starlink by mid-December. So yet another brand implementing Starlink high-speed internet on the ocean.
That's awesome. We're seeing a lot of older ships getting retrofitted with Starlink, and it makes a world of difference.
Yes. I think the Oosterdam has it.
Okay.
I think that's
Good job.
I
That's
think
the one you can pronounce. All right. Shifting into a new cruise line that we haven't talked about yet today, and that is Norwegian. Oh, I'm just kidding. We have talked about them.
Norwegian, yeah.
We talked about their
canceling
displacement of
things,
some
canceling
sales.
things. Look at us.
Okay, well, let's talk about something that they did to pioneer within the cruise industry, and that is introducing the studio. So studios are available for passengers that are traveling by themselves, solo passengers. And one of the cool things about why this is so unique is when you travel on most of the other cruise lines that don't have single solo studio cabins, you have to pay what's called a single supplement. A single supplement is going to be the amount of fare that would be collected by the cruise line had there been a second passenger. Sometimes it's double the occupancy amount, sometimes it's 1.5 times, and other times some cruise lines will actually waive the single supplements as a promotional rate. So Norwegian took a little risk and
They were like, we're going to lead the way.
They introduced the very first solo cabins on the Norwegian Epic in 2010, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
And it's gone really, really well. They've done a great job.
Of course, we've seen them expand the
Yes.
number of studio cabins as they've rolled out new ships.
Right. And that's the whole point of this story is they are actually expanding it fleet-wide. So they're going to be retrofitting several ships, multiple ships actually, to introduce these single cabins. And the cool thing about some of these retrofits is they're not going to be inside cabins. The inside cabins have about 100 square feet. Nice and tiny.
And in fact, they're not going to be studio cabins at all. They're going to be taking existing, bigger, normal two-people-sized cabins.
And that sort of thing. And they're going to turn those...
View and interior, right?
And they're going to turn those into studio cabins. Pretty exciting.
Now, the retrofit, when they retrofit it, it is not going to include the
No
studio,
lounge.
the solo lounge. So
Right.
that's that was another cool feature that Norwegian introduced.
That is true.
Is, hey, solo cruisers, hey, come together. You've got an exclusive lounge that's just dedicated for you.
Yep.
That's really cool.
It is. So that's available on the Norwegian Breakaway Plus class of ships. I did a whole article on it. You can read about it.
Oh, yeah, we'll put
and
it
it's they have some ships have 2 levels, some ships have 3 levels of studio spaces, and then they have a lounge like on the middle deck of those 3. And they have a happy hour in there. They do
really
gatherings. They have all sorts of things going on. So it's cool to see this being rolled out to more ships in the fleet, and we're excited to see how those retrofits go.
It is interesting to see them take existing rooms and just convert them.
Right.
Speaking of reclassed rooms on Norwegian Cruise Lines,
Yes.
the line announced this week something
gosh.
that I absolutely really do not like.
Yeah.
I have fallen in love with spa category staterooms, and those are staterooms that come with your spa access. And so you get the thermal suite, you get the thalassotherapy pools on Carnival Cruise Lines, the steam room and the saunas and the Lanconiums and I don't even know what some of those names of the rooms are, but they come with those stone chairs
stone
that you can
chairs,
relax
the warm
on.
stone chairs,
Anyway,
yes.
Norwegian Cruise Lines has announced that they are reclassifying all of their spa rooms into just standard staterooms, and those rooms will no longer come with spa access.
Yeah.
You will now have to purchase any access you want to the spa. Now, Norwegian says it's because we want to create a better experience. It's overcrowding and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, we've done spa rooms many times, and never once has it been overcrowded. No. Maybe Norwegian, maybe truly on some ships it was overcrowded, and there is something behind that. I personally think it has more to do with, okay, let's just take the spa room amenity away, and now we have another revenue stream.
Right. And if you think about it, they can, for every person that was in a spa room, they had an included spa package. Yeah, now they can just open up that many slots and sell spa packages.
That's right. You can sell even more spa packages.
Yep.
Especially knowing that room rates continue to increase.
Right.
That they can offset it with just raising the room rate and then sell the spa package.
And to that point, I wouldn't be surprised if the spa area is more busy, because now people are paying the premium to have the spa package, so they're actually going to go use it.
Yeah, if I pay for it versus it just being included in my room, you better believe I'm going to be in there using it. Yeah.
Yep.
When does that go into effect?
So it's actually immediate. So on October 3rd, they closed down all reservations for you to be able to book new spa rooms. And it starts in effect on January 1st, 2024. Now, if you've already booked a spa room and you're sailing beyond that date, you are still going to retain what you've booked
Your spa access.
your spa access, as long as you don't modify your reservation.
And modifying, Norwegian made it clear that if you price match to get a lower price, if you change anything about your reservation, you will lose your spa access.
And we know the price is going to go down because they're pulling the spa feature out of it.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. There you go. That's what's going on with Norwegian.
I don't actually think we had a Carnival segment. I think because we are just coming back to Carnival left and right. Because I think you're going to talk about Carnival and I'm going to talk about Carnival.
You are.
And then we're done. And then we're wrapping up.
And then we're wrapping it up. Yeah, so going back to Carnival, we actually put out a video earlier this week that talked about the new Cheers pricing that is coming out on all Carnival sailings 5 nights or less.
Yes.
They are taking an increase of $10 per person per day on 5-night cruises or less, bringing the new total to $69.95.
That's a lot, y'all. I
Yeah.
mean, we did in the video. I think we said your break-even point is 5.5 drinks, 6 drinks, 6 drinks, 6 drinks every single day. Now, maybe on a 3-day cruise, I think I could do that on a 3-day cruise. 5-day, kind of stretching it, but I mean, $69.95. I mean, that's just break-even point.
Yeah.
To actually make it worthwhile, you have to do 7 drinks
8,
a day. Oh, goodness gracious!
And remember, that max is still set at 15 drinks
Absolutely.
per day. That's very, very big amount that you have to do.
Yeah.
And that's only the price if you purchase in advance. If you choose to purchase it or wait until you get onto the ship, that price goes up another $5 a day to $74.95 per person per day.
Yeah.
And remember, the way Carnival works, anyone in the stateroom, if one person buys the drink package, everyone in that stateroom must buy the drink package.
Everyone in that stateroom over the age of 21
Yes.
must buy that drink package.
Yes.
My final news story for this Sail Talk Saturday on October 7th, 2023 has to do with vegan menus.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure we just talked about vegan menus last
What's going on
week
there?
before.
Yeah.
Princess Cruises, Carnival Cruise Line sister, is now also rolling out vegan menus across the fleet of ships. Similar to what we just shared with Carnival, this plant-based, there's a ton of demand for plant-based dining, and so Princess will be rolling it out across all 15 ships. And I will tell you, just like the Carnival menus,
They look good.
Baja-style cauliflower tacos. I love a cauliflower taco personally. Chickpea noodle soup. I love chickpeas. So that sounds fettuccine with walnut sauce.
Oh,
sound-
that's different. I'm
that sound
curious what that
amazing?
tastes like.
And my personal favorite, plant-based shepherd's pie. How are they going to make a plant-based shepherd's pie? I don't know, but I want to try everything on the vegan menu. It sounds delicious. Unlike Carnival, they only posted one picture of an item. Carnival had a bunch of pictures.
So we'll use some Carnival pictures. It's fine. By the way, if anyone has a recipe for that walnut sauce, I'm super curious.
Oh yeah, it sounds delicious.
Yeah.
It sounds delicious. Anyway, rolling out to all 15 ships, all fleet-wide on Princess Cruise Lines.
Cool.
Back to you, Rocky.
Back to
Bring
me.
us home.
So some interesting things happened over this past week as we are preparing for our next cruise. We will be setting sail on Valiant Lady, part of Virgin Voyages. Yeah. Valiant Lady, part of Virgin Voyages for Thanksgiving 2023. We're super excited about our brand new experience. We've never been on Virgin Voyages. We've heard so many things about it. Lots of positives, a few negatives. We always go into things with an open mind to see what it's going to be like. And of course, we're going to bring lots of content in your direction.
We're going to do our what we loved, what we didn't love, what we hated.
You better believe it.
I guarantee you. And we'll probably record it on the ship because
That's the goal.
Yeah.
We'll have time.
Yeah, we'll have time.
So it's an 8-night cruise, and one of the things that they recommend that you do as a sailing passenger is that you book your reservations for dinner. So we had the opportunity 45 days out prior to sailing, because we're in a non-Rockstar suite or any other type of mega suites on the ship. We have Mega. Okay. Yes. We had the opportunity to make our reservations just a couple nights ago. And I'll tell you, it was a little stressful. We kind of had some glitches within the app, and I think that was a Virgin issue. A lot of people in the Facebook group that we're a part of were experiencing the same thing, and they were complaining about it. But in all, oh, yes.
Y'all, I wasn't sure if Rocky and I were gonna make it through that. I mean, he got up at one point and said, I can't deal with you, and walked out of the room. It was stressful.
True.
It was stressful.
So I think we'll have to put out a video on a tutorial on how to do this in the future. My recommendation, especially if you have two people in your cabin that are traveling together, have one person pull up the entertainment schedule while the other person is looking at the reservations for dinner. Dinner did go pretty quick, especially those early times. However, the thing that Virgin...
Yeah, one night, are we eating at 9:15? Because
9:15 or 9:45? We got to... Uh-oh. We're going to have to find our
and
notes.
this is for... that's the other tip that I was going to say. So in addition to... I love what you said. We divided and conquered.
Yep.
Have a piece of paper so you can be jotting these things down.
Right.
I know it sounds stressful. It doesn't sound stressful. It was stressful.
Yes. But yeah, by writing things down, you'll know when you get onto the ship and they actually open up the reservations for shows, you'll go in and make your reservations for those. You'll already know how everything kind of fits together as a big puzzle. The good news is if you don't get a reservation for a restaurant, you can still go stand by. You can still go onto the ship, walk up to the restaurant entry anytime and say, hey, we want to see if we can get in for this date, this time.
And there's a bunch of restaurants
There
out there.
are.
We did again, here's a short of the restaurants we did this week.
Yeah, so there are 6 main restaurants that you can dine in, plus there's the galley with another 8+ dining establishments there. Yeah. You're not going to go hungry, we promise you that much, but we're very excited to experience it and bring that information to you, our wonderful viewers.
Absolutely. Speaking of ship reviews that we love to bring you, this week we finally published the comprehensive, all-inclusive, you have to watch Carnival Venezia full review. We talk about what we loved, what we didn't love, and a couple of things that we hated. It was so much fun putting together that video, talking about all of the things on that ship. I mean, truly just an epic ship. If you get a chance to sail on one of the fun Italian-style ships, there's going to be Carnival Venezia, or there is Carnival Venezia, and Carnival Firenze is debuting next year. If you want to sail with us, we are sailing on several Firenze sailings next year, and so we'd love to see you out there with us. But in the meantime, go ahead and give this Carnival Venezia video a view, and give this Carnival Firenze video a view. Like, there's all sorts of videos. We are really excited about this class of ship, and so we hope that you might be able to join us on one of those sailings.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. That would be great. We're going to have a lot of fun, for sure.
And of course, as always, if you need help booking this guy, thiscruiselife.com/travel, that's always welcome as well.
Yeah, I can book any of the cruise lines for you out there. I can do Carnival, Virgin, Celebrity, Royal Caribbean, Seven Seas. Seven Seas? Silver Seas. Norwegian, Princess, Holland America. We got it all.
AKA any of the cruise lines.
Yeah.
I bet you can't book at CSSC yet.
No, I don't think I'm going to be able to book anything with CSSC. But yeah, I can help you out. Book with me.
Super fun. Thank you for joining. As always, please, we appreciate you hitting that like button, that subscribe button, ringing that notification bell, and remind them about the contest and bring it home.
Yeah, please. If you saw anything that resonated with you, leave us a comment on the video. Not on this live stream. Drop it into the video. Let us know what resonated with you, what you're most excited about. Like this video while you're doing it. And remember to get your comments in by Friday the 13th, October 2023, prior to 10 p.m. Pacific time.
No purchase necessary. Email us at shop@thiscruiselife.com as an alternate way to enter this wonderful contest.
Yep.
And one lucky winner will receive a card and something from us here at This Cruise Life.
Yes.
Until next time.
Until next time, make sure that you take a look at the itineraries that we've got booked on our website, and we hope to...
thiscruiselife.com/about. Okay, fantastic.
And we look forward to seeing you on the seas.
Thank you for joining us in this recorded, pre-recorded live. Whether you're live with us at the premiere or you're watching it after the fact, we can't wait to bring you more cruise news and updates in the future.
Yep, we'll see ya.
Peace.